All right, welcome to another edition of Springfield Insider. So this is going to be kind of a little bit separate from our podcast. You probably recognize Connor from our latest podcast. What we're trying to do is get inside the establishments here in Springfield, actually see what they're about, meet them a little bit further than what we did inside the podcast. But I'll go ahead and let Connor describe his business here and tell you a little bit more about himself.
How's it going? Thanks for having me yet again.
It's like a microphone.
Okay.
You didn't sing into it.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name's Connor. Back again to describe a little bit more in depth what my business is about and kind of how we came to be. So the story of Old Capital Goods and What the Shirt begins with Tinsley Dry Goods, which I'm sure a lot of Springfield people are familiar with. We were downtown for around 9 years or so. We were right next to Dell's Popcorn Shop, which is also a very popular store down here. And so my family started running that business. Ironically, or coincidentally enough, my father happened to be a salesman at the time. He happened to walk into the store, and the business owners were retiring. And they're like, "Hey, do you want to buy the store?" And he was like, "Well, let me ask my wife." So he talked it over with Mom. They ended up buying it, and they started running it. So they ran it for about 9 years or so. After the renovation project was supposed to begin over at the Lincoln Herndon Law Office, which has only recently just begun, I might add, they kicked everybody out of the building, so we had to move over into the old state capitol. Now that didn't work out too great for us. So around this time, this nice piece of machinery in the background here, my printer, was released to the public, and I got this crazy idea for a custom t-shirt shop. And it was around that time that I started developing a business plan with the Small Business Development Center. So I developed this business plan and kind of presented it to my mom and more or less convinced her to go into business with me with this big crazy t-shirt custom printing idea that anyone could walk in and get any amount of shirts printed that they would need, that we would never be the place that no matter what size the order, we would turn people away, which most of the other screen printers in town, you have to have some sort of a minimum. And we are not that place at all. You can come in at 1, 2, 3, that's totally fine. You want to get 6, you want to get 24, that's okay too. So we moved in here November of 2014 and survived through 2015, and here we are in 2016. We're still paying the bills. I'm not buying a yacht anytime soon, but thankfully we're still open. I know, right? So thankfully we're still open, still doing business, and still doing what we set out to do at the very beginning, which is just giving people great t-shirts, custom t-shirts with whatever they want to put on.
Absolutely. And I mean, when he says absolutely anything you want to put on it, he means absolutely anything that you want to put on it. He did a design. Do you mind showing real quick? So if you want to bring your kids or anything, do any type of design, he can copy and print. So this is pretty much a hand-drawn design printed onto a shirt.
So this came from an adult coloring book, and this was simply colored in using some pens that I found at Staples.
And do you have the original of this that you can show? So you see this was hand colored, and I'll go ahead and hold this if you want to show how close.
And here's the copy.
I mean, virtually identical. So Connor here can do anything with his t-shirts.
Whenever we say anything, we definitely mean anything. We've had stuff from just regular words on shirts. We put in photographs on shirts, scanned artwork, digital graphics from other artists, photos. I mean, really the sky is the limit. I've yet to find something that someone has walked in here and been like, "Hey, can you put this on a shirt?" Well, so far the answer has always been yes. Yes, we can put it on a shirt. So
very cool. Now we're gonna go ahead and watch him do a shirt real fast and see what this cool machine does.
Okay, so we are going to print a shirt right now. Right now the program is loading up the design and sending it to the printer so the printer can get ready to print. What we have right here is a dark athletic heather t-shirt that has already been pre-treated for the white design. Now, white shirts don't need any special treatment or anything. I can just throw those on the machine and press print. But the white ink that we use to print on dark shirts doesn't naturally adhere to the shirt. So we actually have to put a special liquid on top of it and dry it into the fabric so that the white ink can actually attach itself to it. It's all natural. It's basically like a liquid adhesive. Very, very safe. That machine is right there. You can see my Nikola Tesla bobblehead sitting on top. And that is air powered, and it just sprays the liquid on the machine. That's all it does. So then we dry it on our heat press until it's dry. And after it's dry, as you can tell, it doesn't look like there's anything on it. It feels a little different, but otherwise, no difference whatsoever. So right now we're gonna load the shirt onto the machine. Once everything is lined up, this extra piece just makes sure that it stays down and everything. So right now we are tricking the machine into making it think that this thing is actually down so you can actually watch the printing. So we are doing a logo for Driftwood Eatery, which is downtown and delicious. So there goes the print heads. So what it's going to do first is it's going to lay down the white layer. Very much unlike your color printer at home, because your color printer will not print white. Mine will though. And as you can see with all the lines, it is incredibly precise. So it's going to jump back in, and I believe we're going to throw on another layer of white because I want a very rich, bright white on this shirt because it is a heather material and the machine really loves cotton, not so much polyester, which heather colors are at least 50%, 40% or so. So I want a really nice, vibrant, rich white. So we're laying down 2 layers of white before we actually throw the color on top of it. So that's currently what it's doing right now. It's just throwing another layer of white on top. But it's going through the exact same motions. As you can see, the design isn't changing all that much. But towards the end of the shirt, after we cure it, there's a pretty noticeable difference between a single setting white and a multi-setting white. So right now we're going to lay a color on it and finish up the design. So it just goes row by row, lays all the color on all those spots where it laid the white beforehand. So as you can see, the shirt is all done, just like that. And real time, Sean, that took what? 2 minutes? If that.
Yeah, real quick.
Very, very fast. So that is the final piece of the puzzle. So after those 2 minutes, you can see the completed design. That is still wet. So the last thing we have to do is dry it, which we bring it over to the heat press. We lay it on top, and we have a Teflon coating piece of paper that we lay on top of the design, so there's no contact between the actual heat press and the the design itself, because we don't want all that color coming off or anything. And pretty much nothing sticks to Teflon. So we lay it on top, and we are going to heat treat it for 1 minute and 20 seconds. Needs to be at about 335 or so. All right. And there you have your completed shirt. So, or if anyone, you yourself or anyone you know, want to come down and visit us, we are located in the heart of downtown Springfield at number 2 South Old State Capitol Plaza. We are right next to the Lincoln Herndon Law Office. Our hours, Mondays and Tuesdays, we're here from about 10 a.m. to around 5:30 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday, we open at 10 a.m. We usually close about 7:30, sometimes as late as 8 or 9 o'clock in the evenings. I am generally here anytime after about 11, 6 days a week. And regardless of whether you yourself or a organization you have to be a part of, a business, a charity, a church, a sports team, anything like that, we can do any amount of shirts from just one to an entire organization's worth. So come by and see me anytime.